Away from that, Africa's evaluation experts are warning that the continent risks repeating policy mistakes unless it takes full control of how development assessments are designed and carried out. The African Evaluation Association says evaluations led from outside the continent often fail to capture realities on the ground and can result in policies that don't match the needs of African communities.
For years, many assessments funded or designed by external organizations have relied on frameworks that overlook local constraints such as implementation challenges, cultural context, and capacity gaps. Experts say this mismatch can weaken development planning, even when billions of dollars depend on credible evidence. At the launch of the new Africa School of Evaluation in Accra, AFRIA President Dr. Michelle Wadrogo said the initiative aims to change that by building a generation of African evaluators with the skills to drive evidence-based governance and sustainable development.
Not just building the technical competency, but it's also important to awake them on the necessity of building evaluation methodologies, theories, but also practice that is embedded in the culture, the value, and reflected by the lens of African evaluators that living in the continent.
The program brings together academics, industry specialists, and policymakers to train participants in climate policy, renewable energy, technology innovation, and sustainable finance. Organizers say the goal is to produce experts who can design assessments that reflect Africa's priorities rather than external assumptions. Meanwhile, Stephen Alo, Senior Director for Impact Measurement and Evaluation at the Mastercard Foundation, said standardizing evaluation practices is essential if African governments are to generate credible evidence for decision-making.
The whole of the evaluation practice has been marred with a lot of issues around not being culturally sensitive. So by talking about standards, the most important thing we're seeking in that case is to be able to ensure that the African-centric way is rooted in terms of how they're delivered.
That's how we wrap up Biz Brief on TV3 today. I am Menu Afo. For more news updates, kindly visit our website. It's www.3news.com. Enjoy the rest of your day.